Welcome to the Creating Reports for Sugar version 6.4 training webinar. The learning objectives for this session are understanding report features, how to navigate in the reports module, to gain an understanding of the different report types, how to create reports, how to modify existing reports, scheduling reports to be sent to users via email, how to export and print reports, and finally, how to display report charts on the home page. First, let's start by discussing report features. Sugar provides a step-by-step wizard to take you through the creation process of a report. Once the report is completed, then you'll be able to view that report in the report viewer. From the report viewer, you can access quick edit forms to quickly edit records that display within the report. This allows you to update records in various modules without leaving the report you are currently viewing. Each report allows you to add filters. Each filter can be an AND or OR filter, and you can have multiple filters and multiple groups per report. Each filter can be selected as a runtime filter. This will allow the user to change the filter at the time of running the report. Each report can have multiple groupings of data, which allows you to organize and summarize specific information within your report. You can select certain reports to be your favorites and access them quickly from the search screen. There are over 30 out-of-the-box reports that come with Sugar. About 15 of them are tracker reports. These are specifically for the administrator to track how often and how users are using Sugar. Now let's look at navigating the reports module and the different report types. When you access the Reports module, you can search for reports using the basic or advanced search panels. The search results will display in the list view. In the hover menu for the Reports module, like other modules, you can access certain actions like how to create a report or your favorite reports, and also any last viewed reports. This is also where you would access advanced reports if you're using the Enterprise or Ultimate edition of Sugar. The Quick Create link is in the upper right corner of the Reports module, and this gives you quick access to the report wizard. The Quick Edit form icons on the list view allow you to access and edit a report from the list view. The Quick Edit form icons on the report viewer allow you to access and update records that display in your report directly from the report viewer page. By marking a report as favorite, you get easy access to that report later. You can do this for multiple reports. Just click the star from the Reports list view or the report viewer page, and the report is added to your My Favorite Reports list. You can search for your favorite reports using the My Favorite Report filter in the search criteria. There are 4 types of reports in Sugar. The first one is a rows and columns report. This is in-depth information in a row and column format, very similar to an Excel spreadsheet. Summation reports provide you with an overview of data grouped by specific criteria. It displays the results in groups based on particular field values. It can include the sum, count, and max values for each group. And it also can provide a chart to display results. The Summation with Details report also provides an overview of the data, but also includes detailed information about records like the rows and columns report. The Matrix report is similar to the Summation report as it provides an overview of the data, includes the ability to create a chart, but also allows you to display up to 3 groups of data which display in a grid. Now let's create some custom reports. First, we'll create a rows and columns report, which can be done in 4 steps. In the first step, we'll select the primary module we want to report on. We will be able to pull data into the report from the primary module we choose, as well as any other related module. Next, we'll define our filters. The filters allow you to specify the parameters to select which data is retrieved. You can also filter the data you retrieve based on data in related modules. Then we'll choose our display columns. This is where you define which data fields will display in the report results. Again, you can display data fields from related modules. Finally, we'll enter the report details. This is where you'll enter the report name, who the report is assigned to, as well as the team. Now I'll demonstrate how to create a rows and columns report. To create a report, access the Reports module by clicking on the Reports module tab. To start the report creation and accessing the wizard, you can either click on the Create icon in the upper right corner of the Reports module, or hover over the Reports module tab and select Create Report. In step 1, we select our report type. In this case, it's rows and columns. In step 2, we select our primary module, and we're going to create a contact report, so I'll choose Contacts. In step 3, we're defining our filters. Notice there's 3 main panes here on the Define Filters step. The Related Modules window displays the primary module chosen, and all related modules to the Contacts module display below in folder format. In the window pane below that, I see the available fields for the Contacts module. The contact fields are displaying as a default since the Contacts module is the primary module. If I wanted to view the account fields, I can just select the account name next to the folder and I have access to those fields. When we add our filters, they will appear in the main pane in the middle of the screen. First, we'll add a filter to filter our contacts by primary address state. We're going to pull in our New York contacts, and we'll also filter by a related module, and in this case we'll filter by the field type, and we're going to pull in only customer account types. So this way we'll bring in contacts who are in the state of New York that are related to an account of customer type. We'll check the runtime boxes, and this way myself and other users who have access to this report will be able to change these filters on the report viewer page. Now we'll click Next to get to our next step. Choose Display Columns. This is where we add the fields that we want to display in the report. I'll go ahead and add the contact name. I'll add the assigned to user for the record. You can use the search field to pull up specific fields instead of scrolling through the list of fields. And we'll also add in the email address for this contact record. And we'll go back to the contact fields and add in the primary address city so we can see which city they're in within the state of New York. I can type into the label and change that label name, which will appear as the title header in the report column. I can also drag and drop the fields. This will change the way they display in the report results. I can also sort by a specific field, in this case the username. We'll click Next to get to the report details step, where we give our report a name and assign it to ourselves or someone else if we're reassigning this report or creating it for someone else. And we can choose what team will be able to view this report. This next step acts as an additional filter, Optional Related Modules. You select the Optional Related checkboxes to display the primary module records even if the related module records do not exist. When the box is not checked, primary module records will display only if they have one or more related module records. So by checking the boxes, I've actually removed the filter, and I will get a return of all contacts whether or not they're related to an account or an assigned user or an email address. Now I'll click on Save and Run to save and run the report and view it with our report viewer. We see our results, a list of our contacts in the state of New York with the corresponding city. This is demo data, so the cities aren't actually New York cities. We have a total of 64 records here. And notice that I have access to make changes to the contact that's showing up here as well as the username. If I click on this, I have access to the quick edit form and I can make changes as needed. And save it. And my report results don't change, of course, but that contact record has now been updated. Now we'll create a summation report. This report requires 6 steps. The new steps for this report are highlighted in red. In step 3, Define Group By, we'll determine how the data is grouped and how the group data displays in the chart. You can add as many groups as you want, but only up to 2 will display in the chart. All of the groups will display in the tables below the chart. You can also select Grouped By Data from related modules. Step 4 is where we choose Display Summaries. In this step, we'll define which data is summarized and displays in the report results. We can summarize the data from the related module if needed. In step 5, we'll select the chart type to display. There are 5 to choose from. Now that we've reviewed the new steps, let's create a summation report. Now we'll create a summation report where we'll capture leads by user by lead source in the system. We're going to go ahead and select the summation report type, and our primary module will be leads. I'm not going to pull any filters into this report. I want to see all leads in the system no matter what the status or when they were created. So I'll just click Next to skip the Define Filter step. Now we're on the new step, Define Group By. This is where we will determine how the report will group the information. I want to group by the assigned username, and I also want to group by the lead source. After I make my group by selections, I'll click Next to get to my Choose Display Summaries, which is another new step. Here I need to select a way to sum up the data that I'm summarizing. In this case, we're going to get a count and add up the total of leads per user and per lead source. I'm going to click Next, and now we get to choose what type of chart we want to see for this report. In this case, we'll choose a vertical bar. We'll give our report a name, and click Save and Run to see our report results. We have our chart, which displays each user and the amount of leads each user has. If I hover over the colored bar, I get information about what the lead source is. And if I scroll down, I have a table where I can see the username, the lead source, and the count for each of those. And at the very bottom, I have a grand total, and I can see that there's 123 leads in the system. We can find this report back on the Reports module list view. I can do a search for it by the name. And notice that there is an edit pencil here, and I can access the report to make edits to it directly from the list view by using that edit pencil icon. The Summation with Details report steps are a combination of the summation and rows and columns report steps. The extra step, highlighted in red, is Choose Display Columns. In this step, we'll define the data fields to display in the report results and can include data from related modules. Now let's create a summation report with details. Again, I select Create Report from the Reports module tab and choose our report type. And now we're going to create a similar leads report as we did in the summation report, but this time we're going to add detail to it and include lead record names. So we'll start with our primary module leads and go ahead and skip the filter step. And we're going to group by assigned to username and lead source. On our next step, we'll choose our display summaries, the count. And now we're at our new step for summation with details, which is to choose display columns. We already did this step during the rows and columns report, so this is just an extra step here that's included in the summation with details as opposed to summation report. So we can add in our lead data. We'll add in the lead name, the opportunity amount that we expect from this lead, a phone number, and an email address. Now we can click on Next and choose our chart. And we'll now run our report by clicking the Preview button to get a preview of what this report looks like. I see the same chart that we saw for the original summation report, but the difference here is the details below. Now I can see each table is according to the user, who I've grouped by, and the lead source. For this particular lead record, there was no lead source chosen, so it shows a lead source of none. But you can see that the next few have been chosen. Cold call for the next 4, existing customer for the next 4, and so on. And I see details about those records. If I scroll to the bottom, I have my total count again of 123 leads in the system. Now I'm going to go ahead and save this report. And we're going to turn this into a matrix report so you can see what that looks like. And I'm going to use the duplicate button to do this. I click on duplicate, and I'm going to duplicate this as a matrix type report. The matrix type report has the same steps as the summation report. Notice it's brought in my old group by and choose display summaries. The matrix report can pull in up to 3 groupings in the grid. So I'm going to go ahead and select another grouping. We'll add in the lead status. I'm going to click on Next, and our same count summary is there. And we're going to leave the vertical bar for the chart. And now notice that we have a new option here, 1x2 or 2x1 layout, and this affects the grid that we see. I'm going to click on Preview so we can get a look at this new matrix report. So our chart is the same. If I scroll to the right, you can see the chart. Now our grid is a little long, so I'm going to change it to a 2x1 type of grid. And select the 2x1 option and click Preview again. Now I have a better view of this report. I can see my chart, and I have my grid, which shows my 3 groupings: the username in the far left column, the lead source next to that, and then across the top I have my statuses for the leads. So I can see for Chris what the status is of all of his existing leads and what the lead source is for those. I have a grand total to the right for each of the users, a total at the bottom for each of the statuses, and at the very bottom I have my grand total for all of the leads in the system and all of the different lead sources. Next, let's talk about how to schedule a report for delivery. Sugar gives you the ability to schedule a report to run at periodic intervals. The system runs it automatically based on the data and time you specify and sends it to the assigned to user's email address. You can schedule it from the list view in the Reports module or from the report viewer. To schedule a report to be sent to you, click on the Schedule Report None link from the Reports list view. Remember that you must be the assigned to user in order to receive the report. In the Schedule Report pop-up window, select the date you would like this to be sent to you. You can also select the exact time you want it sent, and if you want it sent weekly, hourly, or whatever you would prefer. Check the active box and click the Update Schedule button, and now your report is scheduled to be sent to you. Now let's talk about how to export and print a report. You can export a rows and columns report using the Export button on the Report Viewer page. Each export displays as a CSV file in Excel. You can also use the Print as PDF button in the Report Viewer to print the report as a PDF document. You can print the entire report, including the chart. You can also print the chart separately as a PDF. To export a rows and columns report, select the report from the list view. Click the Export button and the report will download and hold the same fields as displayed in your report. To print a report as a PDF copy, select the report from the list view and click the Print as PDF button. The report results display in the PDF copy with the chart as well as the detailed information about the report. Now let's talk about displaying reports on your home page. You can display your report charts on your home page. From the desired home page tab, click the Add Sugar Dashlets icon. Then select the Charts tab and the desired report's name to add the report chart to the page. You can also add your favorite reports to your home page. To add a report to your home page, navigate to the Home Page tab. From here, click on the Add Sugar Dashlets icon in the upper right corner. Select the Charts tab, and you can add basic out-of-the-box charts. They can be custom charts or the out-of-the-box charts. Today we've reviewed how to create reports, how to add reports to your favorites, how to edit records within reports from the Reports module using the Quick Edit forms, how to modify existing reports, and how to schedule a report to run and be delivered to the assigned to user. We also looked at exporting rows and columns reports, printing all report types, and viewing your report charts on your home page. Thanks for joining today's session.